as it may, we don't have to talk about that.
He then goes on to write this post. This woman, Siobhan Stone, aka Lene Stacks of Kansas City, is so trifling. She missed her son's IEP meeting up in Philadelphia. She had the nerve to tell me that her other son, who was a young adult, was going to stand in for her at Chucky's IEP meeting. Are you serious? See, the thing is like, this is why it's so nasty, this back and forth, because then at the end of the day, Dr. Umar, we looking at you, baby. Why are you dealing with women that are conducting themselves in this way? Your son has autism, is always in trouble, and you willingly miss the meeting to chase Shango students in Philadelphia. If you live in KCMO and know Chunky's father, please have him call Dr. Umar. I will help that man get his son's IEP service in order for free. He needs to get custody of the son from this woman. You have a lawsuit against that school. However, Siobhan is too thirsty, chasing eggplant. Hell of a son. But all right, let's move this to the side and see what some of the commenters are saying about Mr. King Consciousness himself. She got a fish tank, but you was in the aquarium. It seems like his teachings don't align with his doings. He must love a good seafood oil. What happened to consciousness? Overly cooked, you seem to be calling out the irony within all of this. I think he was a smell sir. I used to have a lot of respect for Dr. Umar, but time tends to expose the imposters. He's definitely not a righteous individual. Their summer response. He trying to say she the reason the school never gone open. He likes fishy cat. He was there for 2 years. Crazy. That's why I said it's never a good idea to try to expose someone else. I think it was good for a long period of time. It's a reflection of you. You must have liked it for some component of that relationship, because then why would you have stayed that long? Anyway, I think I'm done with this particular content right here. I just wanted to have a quick laugh, quick gag, share the BS with you guys. But also, I hope you learned something within this. I wonder when he identified that Gucci Stone 4 had the whole aquarium within it, right? Like before, after, or during this, right? Like was it after all of this shit had happened? Nevertheless, drop your questions, comments, concerns down in the comments down below, and I'll see you guys soon. Until next time.
What up, baby?
Peace. Girl, don't hold my hand. You go back to seconds on the OnlyFans. Get your money, girl, but damn, how is that your only plan? What you gonna do? Make you get some older stress bananas. Get them out your echo chamber screaming, period ass. You a low out dirty woman. If you try to get knocked out by a hot, now you make like kill I knew to get that number. I knew to get that number. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get the number off, man. I'm gonna get the number off, but we gotta ensure this wait more than this. What the hell? Why we doing this? Let's do it after the tour. So combo like Candace and that Joe kissing. Like kill I knew to get that number off. I knew to get that number off. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get the number up, man. We're gonna get the number up, but we gotta sort of wait.
Hello.
What the hell? Why we doing this? Let's do it after the tour.
Podcast in the draft.
Candace and Madison Square Garden, they have a fight that night. The cameras won't be set up, just that and third, they can't do it.
Hello.
I'm like,
Where y'all at? What y'all doing?
So Combo said, every dollar I make from this verses, I would give to you. I just want to perform in the garden. So I'm like, damn, Cowboy really perform to this verse. I'm like,
That lightning.
give him all the money, man. I mean, let's talk about it. Because when Cameron is revealed, it changes how we look at the whole Dipset versus Lox versus that. Now don't get it twisted.
Hello.
I'm not here to tear Dipset down for doing versus. That was a historical night. I got it. The energy, the amplitude, the culture. It was New York City in its rawest form. Cam, Jim, and Joel, they showed up for the city. That performance is going to live forever. But here's the truth people don't talk about. That one night may have cost them millions. Cam was already in the middle of locking down a Dipset tour. 7 figures on the table. Real momentum building. And just when everything was lining up, the Versus idea pops up. And at first, Cam wasn't feeling it at all. Not because he was scared, not even close. He was thinking long term. The tour was the real thing. With Jim Jones was packing. He wanted to do it for the love. He said he'd give Cam all the money he made off the Versus just to get that moment in Madison Square Garden. That's what changed everything. Cam said if it meant that much to his brother, he was going to make it happen, period. So what he had was a group of legends putting legacy over money. And even though it might have hurt the business in the short run, you can't question the heart behind it. That's what makes this story so dope, but also bittersweet. Because as you'll hear Cam break down, the fallout from that Versus had real consequences. Let's get into it.
Listen, the first question is from P. Mason from Bridgeport, Connecticut, and he wants to know about the Versus. And he wants to know, how did the Versus come about?
Hey,
number
what
one,
y'all doing out
and
there?
two, how did you feel about taking a loss for the Lox?
That's a real good one. I like that. I like that we're starting to show this. I really do. I like that. You know the Lox?
No, before my time.
What? You know Dipset?
I know Dipset, yeah.
You know Dipset, but he is disrespectful. The Lox. Great disrespectful. Jazz, we gotta get some. I know you're a little young. We gotta get your homework done.
Very
First
disrespectful.
and foremost, let me say this. I don't like losing, never. I never like losing. But if I had to lose to anybody and still live with it and not be that mad or be upset about it, it's the Lox. Them is my brothers, those are my niggas. Like, you know, they got on probably a year before me as Lemon Mix they got on, then I got on. So those are my niggas, and that was well deserved, man, because I think the Lox don't get a lot of credit that they deserve, man. So if I had to lose to anybody, it'd be like, oh well, it's them. Kiss, Style, Sheep. They deserve that, man. Shout out to DY, Rough Riders, all related. They're my big brothers too. Now back to the question, the Versus, how it came about and how it went down. I'm glad somebody finally asked me this question. Who was it?
It was P. Mason from Bridgeport, Connecticut.
Alright, cool. Let me speed this
Shout out
process
to
up.
P. Mason.
We about to go on tour. Dipset and the Lox. I'm negotiating the deal. The deal is at $1.5 million right now. I'm talking about like if it was today.
Right.
I think it's 1.5, 1.8. And we was only in like 10 cities. So I'm like, they said, can't be going.
Stop trying to get your wife back by talking about the problems. The best way to win your wife back after she wants a divorce is not by taking her kids.
What's going on, everyone?
Oh, shit.
Today we're going to react to Kevin said. Before we get into it, make sure you guys like and subscribe. So kissing, like Killer, I knew you'd get that number. I knew you'd get that number. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get the number. Money. And I said, let me do some homework. I ignored it. I ignored it for a while. I'm like, man, I don't know why we got a tour coming up. If they want to do the Versus after the tour, we'll do the Versus after the tour. Cabo come to me again. He said, Flea, what's up with the Versus? I said, Cabo, we can do it after we do the tour. How much they got? So I finally took my homegirl, Melissa, talked to Swiss, whatever. They told nothing. They told about 100,000 for everybody. 100 racks for everybody.
For like 15,000 a piece for everybody.
Just 6. It's 6. They want 100,000. I just told you I had 1.5, 1.8 on the table for the tour. Could have ballooned up to $3-4 million. I say, yo, listen, Swiss, what are we doing here? Yo, that's all we got. I said, I ain't doing it, bro. I can't do it. What would you want? Not that? I want way more than that. So I got the number up to like 500,000, something like that. This for everybody still. Right? I'm like, nah, bro, this ain't even 100,000 for everybody. So Kiss It, like, Killer, I knew you'd get that number up. I knew you'd get that number up. I'm like, hell yeah, I'm gonna get the number up, man. We're gonna get the number up, but we got a tour that's way more than this. Why are we doing this? Let's do it after the tour. So Capo, like, Candace and Madison Square Garden, they have a fight that night. The camera's gonna be set up, this, that, and the third. They can't do it another time. I'm like, nah, bro, I ain't doing it. So Capo said to me, Cam, every dollar I make from this versus, I will give to you. I just want to perform in the garden again. So I'm like, damn, Capo really want to perform and do this versus. I'm like, if he wanted to give up all the money he's making, I mean, he really want to do this. Right?
Yeah.
All right, let's do it. All right, now I got to start negotiating with Triller. I got to start calling them because I'm like, just let me go roll this man. I'm not going to take out the money, but that's how bad he wanted to do it. So I call Swiss, I call Triller people, I can't remember their name, my homegirl, Melissa worked for them. And I ran the number up. Now I ain't gonna tell you what they got. They got more than that. I worked it out, so I'm more than that. So I'm like, now I gotta start working out for me because we got a tour on the table and now they gotta wait. Now the people that's doing the tour, they don't want to do us to do the verses because they feel like if people see us do the verses, the tour ain't gonna sell no tickets because they already seen all the songs. So I felt it. So I said, all right, cool. Everybody was happy with what they got. I said, I'm not happy because the tour's not happy. I need 25% of the door. They said, all right then. I said, I need an additional 25% for putting this whole together because I was going to do it. If my brother ain't say he was willing to give me all his money, I would have just had me and him just argue. But I said, this is how passionate he was to do it. I negotiated stock and Triller. I said, I need some of the stock money that's in Triller.
You got an Al Heyman deal.
Yeah, I mean, I'm trying to tell you. Because I need some of the stock that's in Triller too. I'm part of the company.
Yeah.
They said, all right, Killer, now you wild. I'm not wild. Matter of fact, I need 6 beats from Swiss and 6 beats from Timberland too. They said, all right, what else you want? I said, let me think. I ain't finished thinking. Let me think what else I want. Everything I asked for, they just kept giving it to me. So I ended up getting stock and Triller, 25% of the door, another 20% for putting the deal together, the beats from Swiss, the beats from Timberland, which I didn't never use them because I wasn't really into music the last couple of years just for fun. And the back end, if they sold out, I saw some of the back end for it. So that's why I ended up doing the deal because I didn't even want to do the.
That light
and then when we got there that night, it was just pandemonium, you know. But a lot of people don't realize is this. The Lox was considered underdogs to me, which they shouldn't have been. They have music, and I think that because Dipset is so flamboyant and we got great music, we got anthems, and when we go into stadiums or clubs, people sing along. I think that people don't underestimate the music that the Lox had, the features they've done over the years, the work that they put in. And I remember us all in the studio talking about Dipset, and you know, we like listening to Lox songs, and I just see everybody, not just Dipset, because I was in the studio, shout out to Marshall Man, Shooters, a few, and this was like, damn, I forgot about that. Oh, I forgot about that. I'm just sitting there like, this was it, right? Let's do it. But we still was prepared. We was ready. But what happened is New York, to me, my personal opinion, with us, but not us. And when I say that we've been rocking such a long time, it's that it ain't necessarily that with them said they got to deal with it because talent to make music, not just music, being fly torch, etc. And the Lox really has some good music, and they ain't came to play no games. Now that was the first verses that went the way it went. Usually verses go, you do a song, they do a song. We do a song, they do a song. They just took advantage of opportunity, started bringing those songs back to back to back, started talking crazy. Joel said, I ain't got to put up that nigga. Shout out to DJ Technician. That nigga going to Mariah Carey. I said, this ain't going right. Then when Jada kissed him, Biggie going. I said, no, this ain't going right. This not right. Now, mind you, we losing bad the whole night from the beginning. So I had a freestyle already that I was going to do towards the end of the night. But we was down so bad when I was about to do it, the crowd didn't even want to hear it and started booing. I was like, this is just enough. Everything was left that night. But those is like my nights. So I didn't really mind losing like that. I could listen to you guys because I told them right after. It was like, yo, good one, man. We gonna get the tour going. This, that, and the third. Y'all niggas the third. That's the third. What happens the next day? The tour people call. We're gonna have to cancel this tour. Why the tour canceled? Because it was a part of the show where Styles sat on my beach chair. We got to a little, brotherly little tussle. That wasn't none. I want to see Styles and like they gave him a hug. That's my brother. But the tour people was like, that man looks safe. And I'm like, nah, that's my man. It wasn't anything like that. Like, no. And then it was mention of gang-related activity while you guys were on the stage. So Chicago dropped out, Milwaukee dropped out, and St. Louis dropped out because it was, people mentioning stuff about gangs on stage. And we're going to have to reconsider the whole tour. So now think about this. You got, make sure you got 6 digits.
That's the brand better.
But could have got high 6 digits because not just
brand with me at night.
Merch, after parties, everything else that comes with it tour would have made $1 million a piece. Minimum, everybody. Yeah, for that. And it didn't happen. Now, Jada just probably went on his own tour by himself and racked them up. And it's well deserved because, like I said, those are my brothers and I feel that they don't get the recognition that they're supposed to get. So that's how the whole versus situation went. I didn't want to do it. Yeah, I said I wanted to do it after the tour.
Them being together for all these years deserves applause all by itself.
That's my opinion on it. But shout out to the Lox, shout out to my brothers.
Been together the whole time.
We put on a great performance that night, even though we was on the losing end of it. But it was dope for New York City.
So here's what I'll say. Versus wasn't a mistake. It was a vote. A big one. One for the history books. Dipset versus the Lox was one of the most iconic nights in New York hip-hop. Hands down. And Cam, Jim, Joel, the whole crew, they stood on that stage and gave us something unforgettable. I'll always respect them for that. But let's be honest about what came with it. That versus had real consequences. Cam was in the middle of negotiating a multi-million-dollar tour. Dipset was about to hit the road, running up stages city to city. And just when the bag was coming together, versus came knocking. Now Cam didn't jump at it. He actually tried to push it back to get that tour money first. But Jim was so passionate about it, he wasn't thinking about the check. He was thinking about the culture, the legacy, and the garden. And when a brother says, I'll give every dollar I make just to perform in Madison Square Garden, you know it's bigger than the money at that point. So Cam, being the businessman and the brother, he made that work. Negotiated stock for himself, beats, back gear, all of that. He handled it. But even with all that strategy, the verses ended up changing the playbook. The performance got crazy. Things looked chaotic and promoters started pulling out. Cities dropped off and the tour fell apart. Not because of failure, but because the moment became bigger than expected. Now that's not Dipset's fault. If anything, it shows how powerful that performance really was. But sometimes, when you do something legendary in the moment, you lose out on whatever was next. And that's the game. You give the people a show, you might risk the structure behind it. And the crazy part, Cam didn't even want to do it at first. But he stepped up because Jim Jones was passionate, because the city needed it at that time. And I respect that. I respect Dipset for showing up even when the business wasn't ideal at first. That's love for the craft. That's love for the city. Versus was legendary. It just came with a price. But I would never say they were wrong for doing it. If anything, it showed who they really are. Artists who live for the stage, who risk it all for the moment. And that's why Dipset will always be iconic in my book. Y'all tell me what y'all think about this story down below in the comment section. Make sure you like,
How y'all doing tonight?
peace.
Y'all good? Y'all doing good out there? Is it raining where y'all at? As you can see, it's countryside raining.
Regardless of whether or not you can make it work, regardless of whether or not you can marry,
I might skip
you are
through it.
married to that person because you got to spend your entire life attached to that person when you're a child. So instead of us saying you need to go back with your baby daddy or be held accountable because it ain't no safety net, so you need to hold yourself accountable based on the person that you got kids with, we say no. Wake that ass up.
Breakfast Club.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ ND, just hilarious. Show the main guy. We are the Breakfast Club. We got some special guests in the building.
The legendary.
The Clips. What's up, fellas?
What's up?
How you
Is it the Clips or is it just Clips?
It is Clips.
Okay, because I say the Clips too.
Nah, it's just Clips.
Okay,
It's
cool.
Clips.
Okay, you call that shot.
So it's just Clips.
What's the origin of the name for people who don't know?
So that came from Full of Clips. I came up with it, and at the time, Fat Joe had Full of Clips crew, so just showed me the clips.
Okay.
I want to go back, right? Because you guys have been out a long time.
Yeah.
For a long time. So I want to start from the history. Of course, I know you guys for a long time. So what got you into rapping and to form the clips for people that don't know?
Always been a fan of hip hop like anybody else. You know, my older brother was into the whole cardboard box, breakdancing, boom box, rapping. You had to push play and record the rap directly into the box. And yeah, man, just coming up under that. And we went to Chad's house one time. And Pusha, he wrote his first rap, and girl was like, oh shit, you know, be a group. His first rap was incredible, but before that it was just a rap.
Now, when you first met Chad and Pharrell, right? Yep. Y'all are two of the opposite. So how did y'all even learn each other? Because growing up in Norfolk, in Virginia, like two different sides. So what made y'all even say, let's connect with these guys? Wearing tight shirts at the time, tight pants, and they play skateboard. Nothing like y'all at the time.
No, man.
What made y'all say, let's link with them and start?
So, you know, actually, so I was a DJ, DJ Alex in Virginia Beach, lived down the street from me. And we went out and we rented a drum machine. We got the drum machine, but we couldn't work it. And, you know, we had to turn it back in. So we had to pay it for it, but, you know, we was going to have to turn it back in before we even had a chance to use it. And he was like, let's take it to my homie's house. And we went over there and happened to be Chad. He didn't know how to work it. And that's the stuff that we did before.
That's what started. Yeah. So when did y'all take it serious? When did you say, this rapping is something I'm going to take serious? I'm going to get off the streets and say, this is what it is.
I have to say that was in me and Pharrell.
Like and subscribe.
In me and Pharrell, and it was Pharrell. It was the Teddy Riley coming to Virginia. We began to see that it was a real thing. That music was actually attainable and in arm's reach. I mean, you see in the car, you see in the Ferrari, you seeing Michael Jackson in Virginia Beach. You know, we're seeing MCs, Hove, everybody was coming down. And then at the same time we had, Timbaland and Misty. They was doing their thing. They were they had left home and went to Jersey and was working with Jodeci. But these are all our childhood, high school friends. So we got to see it from a lot of different angles that, you know, music was possible.
Why Virginia don't get the credit for being a hip hop hotbed, or just a black music hotbed?
Not just music. You remember Allen Iverson from that area, Michael Vick from that area. Like it's so much in that area that people forget about.
I'm just focusing on the music because you got regions and states that get that love that y'all don't see.
Well, I think it's because I think a lot of people everybody who's made it in Virginia actually had to leave Virginia to make it. I don't think any one particular artist of any of us, none of us broke in Virginia. So we always broke, like Clips broke in Philly. Everybody broke somewhere else. So I think
Clips broke in Philly. I never heard that.
Man. Clips broke in Philly, man.
Really?
Shout out Cosmic Cab.
Wow.
Yeah. Clips broke in Philly.
I didn't know what record was the funeral or
Right.
Okay.
Yeah, so I didn't go from Philly.
Now, do you remember when Fred gave me that beat for Running? I remember the first time I heard it. It was confusing.
Yeah.
It was confusing. I was confused. So when you first gave it, how did you know that was
You
Fred?
probably got the CD that I was handing out.
Yes, I did.
Yeah, I believe you did. When we heard it first, we was like, we were. That's crazy. That's crazy for you to say that. Envy up there. Envy up there. I just left Vegas with Envy rocking that joint. He was smoking that shit. On the album palette, he said you did both basic methods.
Yeah, man.
For people who don't know what that line is.
Yeah, I just feel like I understood and walked a similar path like Mix, to be in this industry and then to have a real revelation of God and healing, and then have to navigate your way. As far as navigating, not so much because I knew that I had to take a step back. And I also want to give
like and subscribe. Help me out.
Because
help a brother out.
Messing with me during that time. Let me come in here and promote the documentary and my solo projects and everything. So yeah, I appreciate that. But yeah, I feel like I understand and seen a lot of the same things that Mace
I brought that up because you know that's.
They actually called me Mason in the club. We was in a club in DC, and they was like, "We got Pusha T and Mason."
But you ain't been around for a while.
Yeah, no, I'm cool with it all. Yeah, I'm cool with it all.
I mean, that's why I brought it up because that's what ultimately caused the Clips to, end for that last
Period of time. That's right.
Yeah.
So what got y'all back? What was the call that said, I want to do this again?
There were a few baby steps. I'm gonna say going out to Wyoming, working on Use This Gospel with Ye, with my brother. I always knew that we could do it, but I just knew I needed a sit down period. You know what I'm saying?
Y'all heard that Clips album yet?
What else did we do? We did Rich's album, I Pray For You.
Yeah, we did the Nego album.
Punch Bowl. Yeah, so
those were things I could ask for that I knew weren't, just solid notes. And man, from there it was just like, what we gonna do?
But what was the exact moment? Because y'all were on two completely different life paths. So what was the exact moment that said, okay, it's time to do another album?
Okay, so I'll say this. When we were doing the Use This Gospel and Punch Bowl and Push's album or whatever, I had asked my dad. I was like, what do you think about me rapping again?
Mm-hmm.
And he said, son, I think you've been too hard on yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And my dad's a deacon. Like he was a deacon. So to hear him say that, I am like, word, that's how you feel? Like,
You just answered one of my questions. I was going to ask you about that because you talk about that on Birds Don't Sing.
Right.
And I thought that was such a powerful thing, just to explain, like, you was going through his, dresser drawer, seeing his notes, but then y'all had conversations about you rapping again. I was going to ask you, what were those conversations?
Yeah. We, just everything was, the way it lined up, it told the whole story, and it let me know that God is intentional. These things don't just be happening to us the way, we think. God is very gracious, and He sets you up. He knows what you can take. He knows how much to put on you. He knows the order in which to put, things in for you. So I just know that He's in control all the time. And the conversations with that record, Pusha talking to my mom and me talking to my dad, and being able to document those last conversations, even those conversations was a type of preparation, getting you ready for what was about to take place. So, like, I'm cool with it all.
Well, condolences, first and foremost.
Thank you.
When I was in Vegas, I was with family members of yours, and what I like to do is pull them to the side and just have conversations. I knew y'all was coming for an interview, and
Trying to get to you.
yeah, of course. And one of them was like, now we were talking about the album. This is before I heard the album, and he was like, yo, the best thing about it, he was like, I had their mom in the car. He was like, the greatest thing that ever happened is the two boys are back together rapping. So how was that feeling of knowing that mom was just super duper happy?
Y'all heard the Clips
Her two
album?
sons were back rapping.
Man, that was always a big thing. For me as a soloist, she would always be like,
I want you with him.
yeah, I want your brother with you. I want him back out there with you. Probably just to, look over me, watch over me. But that was always her thing. She was huge on like us just being together.
How did y'all know y'all had to start the album with a dedication to your parents?
If you want to sell your house in the next 30 days and you're thinking about listing it with a realtor, you're going to want to listen to this.
Dedication to your parents, right?
Because it was the hardest record to make. Like, it was the hardest record to make. So
I felt that one worked on that.
Yeah, so finally, like, when we cracked that code, we were putting the order in, we was like, man, nah, this has to start. Like, this has to start the album. It was polarizing. The response, just in the creation of it, man. Everybody who heard it, and there were people in there, like, we recorded it in the LV headquarters. So it's a room, and it's open. The mics are like this, ain't no booth. You record like this. You look outside, you look through that window right there, and it's not a window, it's just an open space. Somebody with a sewing machine, somebody with, bags, shoes, whatever. And while we're doing this in real time, everybody's in tears. Like, everybody just, they're watching it. By the time we finish it, it's like, just like any other record, it's like, man, we cracked the code on it. Like, we're satisfied. But it was just so hard to do. And everybody's always like, you know, everybody wants to put their hardest record first, and I'm like, nah, man, this is the hardest record, and I want to see how it like really touches people, you know, from the jump, and then get into everything else.
Did that change you? Because you know, you talk about on the record of where you were and the things that you should have been doing that you weren't doing.
Yeah.
And then I seen a shift a couple of years with you when you had your son.
Yeah.
Like everything is about your son, and
Yeah.
and you show up more than